Hello, this is Stephen Denning for the National History Day project, and we're here to interview Mr. Steve Rossa about the New York Stock Exchange. Hello, Mr. Rossa. This is Garrett, Stephen, Matthew, and George. Can we ask you a few questions to get a better understanding about the New York Stock Exchange? George will ask the first question.
When did you start investing in the New York Stock Exchange?
Well, I was probably a little bit unusual in that. I bought my first stock when I was 14 years old. Back when I did that, I had to utilize my mother to help do that, because you need to be 18 years old to actually trade or invest stocks through a broker. But she opened a Guardian account for me, and that's when I got my start.
Okay. Thank you.
And now for the second question for Matthew McKellis.
What age do you recommend people to invest in the New York Stock Exchange?
Well, the New York Stock Exchange has a host of American and some outside of American companies. I don't think when it comes to investing in general or saving in general that you can ever start too early. Parents start for their children before they're born, and what you really get with that is the power of time and what that can do for your assets building on top of themselves. So the New York Stock Exchange has been one of the key focal points of those investments, where you can get access to ownership to those companies. And like I say, that's maybe the information and the expertise and the things that are needed to actively invest yourself take years and years of time to gather, but with the right support and the right financial advisory, it's never too early to start.
The third question goes to Garrett Lowhead.
What were your ups and downs in the stock exchange?
Companies fit into certain sectors, like electric utilities are in the energy sector, or banks are in the financial sector, and you may be that whole sector is in a downtrend. Or I've always experienced recently with recessions and all, you can have an entire economy, a country's economy, that falls into a downtrend and pulls all the stocks down with it, which we experienced in 2008 and in a few other giant drops along the way in history. So been through a bit of those, and time often cures all in investing. Investing is for the long haul, and you hope to stay steady with your path. You hope to stay steady with the ideas that brought you into those investments in the first place. And often it takes time for a stock's value and price to turn around, and that's what you're waiting for in investing. Looking for that opportunity when you have made a good profit on it, and then you have to make decisions as to when you take those profits, when you sell that company stock. Hope that helps you understand that. So sometimes you've had some losses, but when you're investing in the stock market or trading in the stock market, you're looking at having more gains over the long haul than you have losses. And being that if you look at the history of the value of all companies in the New York Stock Exchange from way when it began to where they are now, you can tell there's been a huge increase along the way, and that's the tendency and the trend that people look to the New York Stock Exchange for, to keep investing in it with the assumption that it's going to continue to grow.
Okay. Stephen has the next question.
Okay. What kind of power do you think you've gained in the stock exchange?
Well, for one, it gives you a little bit of a power to control what happens with your savings, with your destinies. It used to be that only individuals who had very high wealth could necessarily invest in a company. But when they've gotten together with markets and created stocks, which are ownership shares of companies, it's allowed us as individuals to invest in any company that we see fit to. So it allows us to do our own research. And from the beginning of when I started making trades, when I was 14, you had to call up a broker and they connected with the traders on the New York Stock Exchange, and you had to wait to see that your trade went through, and it was cumbersome, it took a little bit of time. Now we have greater access. I'm sitting in front of my computer, and I've got the plethora, just endless information that flows from the charts and information and everything that's available now through the internet and through our trading and investing programs. We now have all the access to information that only brokers used to have through channels going directly to those companies. Now it's amazing that instant access to this information has created a pathway for the individual investor really to be able to do their own investing or gather whatever amount of expertise they want and utilize financial experts even further to help them take them even further along. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Steve, for helping us on our project.
You bet, Stephen. My pleasure.